Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Satarine. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Taruvesha Kripa Sindhu Vyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnamebhyo Namo Nama. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripa tamaham bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Shri Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Mishwaram. Hare Krishna. So, can anyone remember what we discussed last class? Yes, we were discussing about whether God is personal or impersonal. Yes, anyone remembers? Yes. Okay. You're not audible. You have unmuted. See the speaker, which speaker is connected. Okay, so give the security, give mute, unmute. Huh? Yeah. Yes. Hare Krishna. Now you can speak.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, we were discussing about four categories of spirituality. They both Bhaktas, Sukritas, Bhakta and Brahmavadi, and we were then discussing about Brahmavadi.
Yeah.
They believe in the form of God.
So this is what
there is an energy.
This is what Ansulika is telling. This is what this is what you remember. This is the first thing we were discussing. How there are four types of spiritualists. There is the bhaktas who love God, who want to love God, who want to surrender to Krishna out of pure love. Then there is Sukritaha. They want to surrender to Krishna, they want to surrender to God, but they want some material benefit. Bhisa Balaji, or they will go to Jagannath and, oh Jagannath, I have no son, give me a son. So they are Sukrita. And then there are Deva Bhaktas. They are Ganesh Bhaktas, Durga Bhaktas, they are Deva Bhaktas. And then the last one is Brahmavadis. They want to surrender to the energy of Krishna. Yeah, this is first thing we discussed. Yeah. Anything else? Anyone else? Yeah.
The Brahmavadi.
One by one. Now Ansulika is in waiting list. Now Samnarayan. Yes. One by one. Yes.
Yeah, I saw the video. I was not able to join the class, but we discussed about the impersonal Brahma Jyoti, how it is compared to like sun and sunlight. So the God himself and the energy, the sunlight.
Yeah.
The Brahma Jyoti.
So which is sun, which is sunlight?
The God is sun.
Yeah.
And Brahma Jyoti is the sun.
Yeah, this is sunlight. Yeah. So now this is one thing we discuss about. There is personal, there is impersonal. Personal is God. Impersonal is the effulgence of God, which is called the Brahmavadis. The Brahma Jyoti. Yes. Anything else we discuss? We discuss another very important point. Okay, let me ask a question. Then it will be easy for all of you to answer. If God is actually a person and his effulgence is Brahma, why the impersonalists say that the God is impersonal, God has no person? Can anyone say why they tell that there is no personality in God? What are the reasons we discussed? What are the reasons why they say that God has no personal feature? Yes.
The body suffers a lot. We have traditions and all, and that is why they think that if we don't talk about the body and we just think that it's a light, then that will be excluded. That point will be excluded.
Yeah, this is a very powerful point the Brahmavadis say. They look to the body and they see that how much the body has to suffer. The body is source of all pain, the source of all diseases. If you don't brush your teeth, your mouth gives such bad smell. If you don't go for washroom, your stomach gives such bad smell. Huh? And they think what? That God also has, if you talk about body and God has a body, then God will also have a body like me. And then how can God have a body like me? And that's why God doesn't have a body. That is their conclusion. Right? So if God has to have a body, then he has to have a body which is free of all these defects. Right? So in this world itself, we see not that every body people suffer like this, correct? Some bodies are healthy also, correct? But even if a person is having healthy body, still he has veins, bloods, which is deteriorating. And they think that the Krishna's body is also, God's body also has to be like this, and that is why he doesn't have a body. How can God have a body like this? But what scripture says, can anyone say what scripture says about God's body? Anything you remember? भगवान की शरीर कैसा है? भगवान की शरीर कैसा है? Yeah, no one remembers. Bhagwan.
It's not like our body. It does not have any vein. It's spiritual.
So what is the Bhagwan's body told? What is Bhagwan's body said? Satchid आनंद विग्रह. तो भगवान की जो स्वरूप है सच्चिदानंद है. Right? It is not like our body. Okay. So they say that God is light, he doesn't have a form, and the form is about illusion, and goal of life is for the soul merge into Brahman. And then they will tell that you meditate on the candle and all those things they say. Right? But then Krishna says that these impersonalists are foolish. They are telling that the Abhyakta has become Vyakta, but actually Vyakta's effulgence is the Abhyakta. Right? It's not that the Abhyakta, the light has taken a form, because if you say that okay, God is having no form, but what about Vishnu avatar? Then they will say, oh, Vishnu avatar क्या है? वो जो light है अभी एक form ले लिया है, वो Vishnu avatar है. But Krishna says that it is foolishness. It is foolishness. So it's not that the Abhyakta. It's not that the Abhyakta is becoming Vyakta. It's not that the Abhyakta is becoming Vyakta. Rather, the Vyakta has the effulgence which is Abhyakta. That's what Krishna is telling. Right? And then we discuss some things like this. Then a very important thing we discuss about how different scriptures, all the scriptures speak about form of the God. In Quran, Bible, Rig Veda, Gopal Tapani Upanishad, Brahma Samhita, everywhere. Then what is impersonal Brahma Jyoti? We discussed about that how it is effulgence of the Lord. Bhagwan ki Prabha. We discussed about Krishna's Prabha, this we discussed about Krishna's Prabha. Yasya Prabha Prabhavato. And here we discussed about sun, and we also discussed about sun sign. So sun and sun sign. We discussed both the things. So then we'll discuss about this, and then we discuss this verse that where the devotee is telling, oh God, you remove the effulgence. You remove the effulgence, then I can see your real face. This is also we discussed. Okay. So from here we will start. Right? So God is realized. This is three aspects of the absolute truth. These are the three aspects of absolute truth. The first is called the Brahman. हम जो बोलते हैं परम सत्य, ऐसे बोलते हैं ना, परम सत्य बोलते हैं ना, ऐसे लोग बोलते हैं परम सत्य जो है, परम सत्य को हम 3 स्तर पे समझ सकते हैं, या फिर भगवान को हम 3 स्तर पे, 3 levels we can understand God. The first one is Brahman, the second one is Paramatma, the third one is Bhagavan. So Brahman is what? Just like this sun is there, then sunshine is there. Okay? So there is sun and then there is sunshine. Sun is God and sunshine is the Brahman, Brahma, Jyoti. So this is Bhagavan. So sun is Bhagavan, sunshine is the Brahman. Now what is Paramatma? Paramatma is God's expansion only. It is God's expansion in everyone's heart. If you remember, we had discussed that how the living entity comes down from the spiritual world to material world. Yes? How the living entity wants to control and create, and then it comes down to the material world. But it comes down to the material world, someone has to tell him how to guide him, how to deal with the material world. So God comes and along with the living entity as Paramatma. So there is no Paramatma in spiritual world. Paramatma is a feature available in material world where the God, where Krishna wants to assist the soul in his journey to material world. So Paramatma is the super soul. जो सबके हृदय में, हम सब बोलते हैं ना, भगवान सबके हृदय में वास कर रहे हैं, तो हम भगवान को ब्रह्म की तरह जान सकते हैं कि एनर्जी, God is energy. Second is God is a person within my heart, staying in my heart. The third is God is person staying in his abode in spiritual world. So these are the three aspects we can realize God. Right. So now I will give you an analogy by which you will understand these three things, because ये अभी थोड़ा philosophical लग रहा है. How many of you feel a little philosophical? So I'll give you an example of this example so that you will understand what is this three things Prabhuji is telling. So this is a simple example, you will understand. So just don't have to keep this because sufficiently. So now the example is, imagine Syam Narayan goes to a very remote village. Such a remote village he has in Bihar, interior Bihar, some remote village. And in that village, there is no train line only. And Syam Narayan, all the villagers, they ask, ki betu tum kaisa aaya? Na main to, I came by train. Train? What is a train? No, we have not seen train. So Syam Narayan said, okay, so I will plan all of you and I will take you in one bus or something. We'll book a bus. We'll go to the nearby railway station, which is almost about 100 kilometers far, and then we can see the train. So like that Syam Narayan said. So all of them, many of them got interested. So, but in one bus, how many can fit? That was only Syam Narayan's budget. He can only afford one bus. So he booked one bus, and then in that bus, some 50-55 people, some 60 people got into that bus, and then the bus started for the nearest railway station, right? Okay. And then the bus started, and then they reached, and as usual, by great mercy of Indian Railways, the train was late. And the people were waiting in the hot sun, कि train आएगा, train आएगा, train आएगा, train आएगा, train आएगा, train आएगा. And train was not coming, train was late. Syam Narayan was saying, train आएगा, train will come, रुक जाओ. 10 people, they were so frustrated, they booked some auto rickshaw from the station and went back to the village. And those people, those fellows, those who booked the auto rickshaw, when they went back to the village was having lot of more people. They started telling, अरे कुछ train नहीं है, श्याम नारायण बकवास बोलता है, कुछ train नहीं है. There is nothing called train only. This Sam Narayan is just uselessly bluffing around that there is something called train. By that time they had come in the afternoon, they had come in the morning at 12 o'clock, and by the time the train came, it became so late that it became evening only. And still people were waiting. 40 people were still waiting. And then 40 people, those who were waiting, they waited, and then finally sound came and light was shown. And then they were from far off distance, they could see light and sound, and Sam Narayan said, look, I was telling that train is there, you see train is coming. And immediately all the people were in hunger and they were already so much in distress. So they were jumping, yes, हमने train देख लिया. And Sam Narayan said, no, train अभी तक देखा नहीं. ना हमने train देख लिया. And 20 people out of the 40 people left the assembly and they booked auto rickshaw. They went and reached the village because they were so impatient. And then they started telling, train hai. These 10 fellows, what they were telling in the village, there is no train only. 20 people, they said, what, train hai. ऐसे नहीं कि ट्रेन नहीं है, श्याम नारायण झूठ नहीं बोला था, ट्रेन है, बट ट्रेन क्या है, लाइट है, बस साउंड लाइट है, मूविंग लाइट टाइप का है, सम लाइट इज देयर ट्रेन. So all, and then these two people started fighting. नहीं, there is no train, you are telling lie. And these people, no, you were not patient. आप खड़े रहते तो देखते लाइट को. So then both were fighting, and then what happened? And slowly the train approached, and when the train approached, all these 20 fellows who were there, they were very jubilant that they could see the train. And then out of that, they could see some bogies, running bogies from a far distance. 10 fellows, they said, we have seen train, they left. And when they left, they went to the village and they said, what is train? Train is not a light. They started fighting those who were telling train is a light. They started telling train is not a light, train is boogie. Running boogie is a train. It has a form. It's not that it has only light. It has a form. And these people who are telling train is light, they started fighting. He is telling train is a form. He is telling train has a light. Then the most patient people waited till the train came to the platform. The train stayed, and when they saw that train is not just a light, train is not just a running boogie, train has lot of people within, and lot of people are getting in, lot of people are eating something. And then they came back and they went to the village and telling along with Sam Narayan that we have seen the train is a boogie filled with lot of people eating, someone is playing cards, someone is doing this, doing that. Correct? So in this way, there are 4 categories of people. The first one is atheist, who doesn't have patience only to learn about God, impatiently, unscientifically, out of arrogance, the person just says bluntly, there is no train. Correct? So they are atheist. The first 10 category of people. The second category of people, they have little bit of patience, but they have no more patience, and they are called the Brahmavadis or the impersonalists. They say that God is what? God is a light or an energy. So like that they will say. And the third category of people who said that train is a boogie, they are who see the Lord as Paramatma in the heart. Now you say Paramatma is there in the heart, God is there as Paramatma in our heart, but you ask, you talk, He will not respond. There is not much relationship. So similarly, they saw the train is like a bogie, running bogie, but they could not see any relationship. ठीक है, ट्रेन रनिंग बोगी है, मालगाड़ी टाइप का कुछ है. But the fourth one is one who realizes God as Bhagavan, where they see that it's not just a boogie. And inside that boogie, there are a lot of people having relationship. Some are playing cards, someone is eating, someone is laughing, joking. So many activities are going on. So in this way, so here, train is compared to the absolute truth, Param Satya. And based on our vision, you tell me, is there any fault of the train for atheists to tell that there is no train? No. Train exists, but the atheist doesn't have patience. They don't want to follow the process to see the train. Okay. So train is there, but the atheists, they believe that there is no train because they don't have patience. Similarly, the Brahmavadis, they don't have patience. They get some resemblance of God, but they don't have patience to wait more and see what God is. They just claim that Bhagwan एक आलोक है, वस्तु है, energy है, बस खत्म. Right? So in this way, we can understand that based on our patience, based on our perseverance, based on how sincerely and seriously we are ready to follow the process to see God, to experience God, we will be categorized in one of the four categories. If you are too impatient, भगवान को अभी दिखाओ. We have seen the atheist will say, अगर भगवान है बुलाओ उसको, इधर लेके आओ, अभी इधर जूम के अंदर भगवान को लेके आएंगे तो मैं विश्वास करूंगा कि भगवान है. अरे भगवान तुम्हारा नौकर है क्या, चाकर है क्या, हैं? जूम के अंदर आएगा नालायक. तो भगवान को अभी लेके आओ मेरे आंखों के सामने. प्रभु जी, आप अगर भगवान के ऊपर विश्वास करते हैं, लेके आओ, दिखाओ भगवान को, आप दिखाओ. या फिर दे विल आस्क, प्रभु जी आपने भगवान को देखा है क्या? I will say, I say generally to these people that yes, देखा है. Can you prove that मैंने नहीं देखा है? मैं बोलूंगा देखा है मैंने. Can you prove that मैंने नहीं देखा है? तो क्यों बड़ा बड़ा बात कर रहे हैं? तो these atheists, they don't have any patience, any perseverance. They don't want to follow the process, protocol. Can you say that नरेंद्र मोदी को अभी लेके आओ, प्राइम मिनिस्टर को अभी जूम में घुसाओ, पर मैं तब विश्वास करूंगा वो प्राइम मिनिस्टर है? अरे इससे बड़ा मूर्ख तो कोई पैदा ही नहीं हुआ. हाँ? So you cannot bring a simple prime minister of a simple country. You cannot bring president of a country, and you are thinking to bring president of creation. Huh? A prime minister and president of a small country is not so cheap. Okay, forget about India, which is a big country. एक आइलैंड का एक प्राइम मिनिस्टर को लेके आओ जूम मीटिंग में, आपका बैंड बज जाएगा. करेक्ट? Will not be able to do it. Then what nonsense these atheists are speaking? They want to see God and then they want to believe. Huh? So in this way, the atheists, they don't have patience, perseverance, they don't want to follow the protocols. Right? If a simple prime minister has so much of protocol, the president will also have, the creation will have definitely protocol. So in this way, these are all four category of people who interact with Param Satya in different ways. Param Satya is one only. Like train is one. But based on the patience, perseverance and following of the protocols and process, train is perceived in different ways by these four category of people. You are able to understand? Train is one only. But based on us, how we want to, how much patience we have, how much process and protocols we want to follow, we experience train in different way. And that's how the person who realizes Bhagavan, who understands that God is a person and not just a person, most merciful person, and not just a most merciful person, he is not just a person, he is not the most merciful person, he is my father, he is my mother, he is my teacher, he is my brother. Janaka, Janani, Daita, Tanaya, he is my father. Janaka, Janani, he is my mother. Daita, he is my most intimate friend, like my husband and my wife. Tanaya, he is like my son, my daughter. Prabhu, he is my master. Guru, he is my spiritual master and teacher. Pati, he is my husband. Tuhu sarvamoy. Oh Krishna, you are everything for me. So a person who is a Bhagavan, who realizes God as Bhagavan, understands that God is not some person here, person there, person there. God is my own. I have the most intimate relationship with God. I may have relationship with my husband, wife, son, daughter, father, mother, father-in-law, mother-in-law. These are all relationships based on the temporary body, correct? Yes. But my relationship with God is not temporary, based on any body, based on where I was taken birth. So a person who is citizen of India, he is relating to India because he took birth in India, correct? So similarly, a person takes birth in some family, he relates with someone as father, mother, sister, brother. But that's a temporary relationship. But our relationship with God is eternal. And devotional service, bhakti, is about realizing our eternal relationship with God. So now, the three aspect is called the Brahmas. Like we said that Bhagavan, God is Sat, Chit, Ananda. There are three features of God's body. It is not like our veins or anything. Bhagavan ka jo vigraha hai, Satchidananda vigraha. But out of this Satchidananda, the people who realize Brahma Jyoti, they only realize the Sat aspect. Sat means it is eternal. Brahma Jyoti has no Chit aspect. Sat means, okay, let me explain Satchidananda. Sat means eternal. Chit means full of knowledge. And Ananda means full of bliss. So people who realize God partially, they only realize the Sat aspect and they realize God as Brahma Jyoti. And then those who are Paramatmavadis, they realize God as Paramatma, they realize God as Sat and Chit, both. Because Paramatma gives us direction, knowledge. And that's why Paramatma has the Sat aspect and the Chit aspect. But Paramatma doesn't get into relationship. You cannot get into relationship with Paramatma. Paramatma will give you knowledge. ये सही है, ये गलत है. तुम इसको करो, नहीं करो. How many of you have felt that whenever you want to do something wrong, you have someone pinching in the heart कि गलत कर रहा है, तुम गलत कर रहा है, गलत. How many of you have experienced this? All of you have never done any wrong, but I am just asking question. So तुम गलत कर रहा है, तुम गलत कर रहा है, तुम टेबल के पीछे से पैसा ले रहा है, तुम टेबल के पीछे से पैसा ले रहा है, तुम टेबल के पीछे से पैसा ले रहा है. So like this someone is telling, right? So that is Paramatma, the Chit aspect. He is giving knowledge, but you want to interact with Paramatma. हे Paramatma, हृदय में आप बैठे हुए हैं, थोड़ा मेरे से बातचीत करो, थोड़ा चलो पकोड़ा खाते हैं, थोड़ा पार्क में घूमते हैं, वो सब नहीं करेगा परमात्मा. You are able to understand? So Chit is there with Paramatma, Sat is there. You are a human being, Paramatma is there. You are a cow, Paramatma is there. Like for example, our cow, one calf was born in our Gosala. Immediately when the calf was born, immediately the calf knew where to get the milk. The calf will not go and lick the leg of the mother cow. The calf will not go and lick the ear of the mother cow. The calf will go and suck the udder. Who gave the knowledge to the cow to suck the udder? Tell me. Even a newborn child also, human child. Right? So, Paramatma is also Sat. Means, it's not that Paramatma is only within the human body. Paramatma is within the animals also. So Paramatma is giving knowledge to the animals also. You go and give a carrot to our cows in Gosala. They will eat the carrot. And you give a dead rat. Will the cow eat dead rat? Who is giving the knowledge कि ये तुम्हारा खाना नहीं है? Paramatma only. So Paramatma is there Sat. Why he is Sat? Because he is there eternally with us. We may take human body, we may take cow body, donkey body, cat body, any body we take, Paramatma goes. So that's why Paramatma is Sat. So Sat and Chitta. Brahma Jyoti is only Sat because he doesn't give any knowledge. Actually, this is also God's energy only, part of the Brahma only, correct? Is it giving me knowledge? What knowledge it is giving? Nothing knowledge it gives. The camera which we are using, it is also part of Brahma only, the energy of the Lord only. Is it giving me any knowledge? अगर ऐसा होता तो आप कैमरा के सामने बैठ जाओ, पूरा क्लास हो जाएगा. So the energy of the Lord is only has the Sat aspect. Like we say, na? What we say in physics, what we learnt about energy? Can anyone say who is a physics teacher who knows physics? What we learnt about energy?
Energy can either be destroyed or
very good. Energy can neither be destroyed nor not created. It is only conserved. Correct? So this is what is called the Sat aspect. Brahma Jyoti is basically energy of God. So that's what scientists have also understood, that energy is Sat. It can be converted from potential energy to kinetic energy, from kinetic energy to mechanical energy, mechanical energy to electrical energy, electrical energy to thermal energy. Right? But it cannot be destroyed, it cannot be created, it is always conserved. So the energy has this Sat aspect, but energy doesn't have Chit aspect. The energy will not tell me, thermal energy will not come and give me a class on how to become cold. Right? So energy is only having Sat, but Paramatma is also God's energy, God's expansion. It has the Chit aspect. It will give us knowledge. But though it gives us knowledge, it will not interact with us. You ask any question, but it will give you knowledge. One-sided knowledge it will give you. So that is Paramatma. Whenever you will do something good, Paramatma will not speak anything. Whenever you are going to do anything bad, there will be pinching. Galat kar raha hai, galat kar raha hai, Syam Narayan, galat kar raha hai, galat kar raha hai. So that is Paramatma. Then the Bhagavan aspect is, it has Sat, it has Chit, and it also has Ananda. Means, Ananda means you can relate with God. You can strike out a relationship with God. You can ask God, just like Arjuna is asking, oh Krishna, please tell why I am feeling so stressed. Correct? In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. Now Paramatma is there in the Arjuna's heart also. Why Arjuna is not asking Paramatma? Tell me. Because Paramatma you cannot inquire. You can only inquire with Bhagavan or the representatives of Bhagavan, that is Bhakta or Guru. So when Paramatma in the heart sees that the living entity wants to interact with him. So Paramatma is called Chaitya Guru. Chaitya Guru. What is meaning of Chaitya Guru? He is within our heart. And he gives knowledge. Now sometimes, apart from knowledge, you also require something to inquire, ask. क्या सही है, क्या गलत है? So then Paramatma says, now it is going beyond my domain, Baba. My domain is only to give knowledge. Doubt clearing class, my bhakta will take. So the Chaitya Guru or Paramatma arranges for a living Guru who is without and from whom we can inquire and take guidance. And that's how those people who always pray to God, who is within our heart, and they say, oh God, please give me right direction, please give me right direction. They are the people who meet Sadgurus. Like I have seen so many people who have come to our classes and they would say, Ki Prabhuji, I was looking for a guru. I was looking for a guru. I was looking for someone who can help me. I was in so much of distress. So, Paramatma in our heart knows our distress. And if you are really serious about it, to inquire and ask, he will send some living entity, some personality in our life. And he is a guru who can help us. So, Paramatma is also there in the guru's heart. Correct? And Paramatma is also there in the disciple's heart, and Paramatma makes this connection strong between guru and disciple. Like personally, in my life, I will tell you, from childhood, I had strong interest for practicing spirituality. Very, very strong interest to practice spirituality. And I didn't want to get married. I wanted to exclusively devote my life to God and society like that. In 8th class, I was very much inspired by one sannyasi. My father was mother. They were very, very, they got really alarmed ki beta bhag jayega. And then they brought me and I started studying. I was very good in studies. But from childhood, I was always interested to find someone who can help me, guide me. But seeing the condition of the spiritual organization, because I was from Puri, Puri is like a big bazaar, shopping mall, Spencer of all spiritual organization. So, because it's a big bazaar of all spiritual organization, I could see in Puris all types of things. And what not the spiritual organization, the mathas, they do. So I had lost all faith on spiritual organizations. And these sadhus, these saints, ये सब भंड बाबा हैं, ये सब ऐसे ही काम करते हैं, ये करते हैं. But I used to always pray that, oh Jagannath, please make me meet with someone who can help me, give me guidance and all. And lo and behold, the way I came to Kharagpur IIT and met devotees and met His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu and His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, my life got completely changed. And it's like a dream and desire come true, right? So who is storing these desires? Paramatma only. And who is there in the heart of the Guru? Paramatma only. So we need to know that Paramatma is Chaitya Guru, but he will not interact with us. But when we are interested to know about him, कि हे भगवान जो आप मेरे हृदय में बैठे हुए हैं, मेरे को प्लीज दर्शन दीजिए, मेरे को ज्ञान दीजिए, मेरे को ज्ञान दीजिए, मेरे को ज्ञान दीजिए, then Paramatma will arrange some Sadguru in our life, जो हमको ज्ञान दे सकता है. Miraculously we will get connected. Miraculously we will get connected, right? And that living Guru, what is his goal? So this living Guru will take us to Bhagavan. So this is the process. The process is the living entity prays sincerely to the God within. And the God within sends the Guru without. And the Guru without helps the living entity to find God in spiritual world and Vaikuntha. So that's the process of actually spirituality. So Paramatma is the Sat and Chit aspect, and the Brahma Jyoti is the energy aspect, and Bhagavan has Ananda. We can relate with God, and we all see in our life that we have so much of intense need for relationship. Yes? We want to relate with someone. We cannot be lonely because this is need of the soul. The soul needs relationships. And that's how the soul's original relationship, eternal relationship with his God. And because the soul doesn't want to live with God now, that's how we have come here. And now we are staying with Paramatma, who is directing us. And when Paramatma realizes that this Atma is wanting to now come back to me, then he arranges all situations, favorable situations. He arranges all of us to meet a guru, to get knowledge about us, and then our life, spiritual life begins. So, those who are absorbed in Brahman, they go to Brahma Jyoti. Those who worship Brahman, they are Brahmavadis, they are Gyanis, they go to Brahma Jyoti, but then again they have to return back to the material world. Because Brahma Jyoti is a metastable state, there is no relationship, there is no rasa. You go there, Santi, 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 you speak, and after Santi, you again come back to material world. Those who meditate Paramatma, sometimes yogis meditate on Paramatma, the God within. And they meditate, 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 meditate. And after some time, they are able to see within God, the God's form. And then they think, I am only the God. Instead of thinking, मैं भगवान है ये, वो सोचते हैं, अरे मैं ही भगवान हूँ. So if they think like this, they also go to Brahma Jyoti. But if they think, oh, I saw the God's form in my heart, then they go to Vaikuntha, right? And then there are bhaktas who are serving Bhagavan. They go to spiritual world and they serve the Lord in one of the 5 prasads. So what are these 5 prasads and what is the spiritual world is what we are going to discuss next class. Right? So we are going to discuss all these things in the next class about what is spiritual world. And the goal of life is go to spiritual world. Where is the spiritual world? What are the different rasas in which we can develop relationship with God? Okay. Now the last question which we will discuss in the next 5 minutes is, if Brahma Jyoti is an effulgence of the Lord, why the impersonalist cannot see the form of the Lord? And because the Lord's form is not revealed to all. Until and unless we are having love for God, we cannot see the form of the Lord because our chakshu is not capable. We can see how much our chakshu is capable. Can we see infrared ray? Can we see ultraviolet ray? Then we want to see God and God's form, which is Dibya. So this is what Krishna is telling about his form. This is Bhagavad Gita 7:25. Naham prakasah sarvasya. Anyone?
Naham prakasha sarvasya.
Yogamaya samabritah.
Yogamaya samabritah.
Mudho yang nabhijanati.
Mudhoyam
लोको मामजमव्ययम् नाहम प्रकाशः सर्वस्य। भगवान बोले ना अहम, मैं सर्वस्य प्रकाश, मैं सबको दर्शन नहीं देता हूं। योग माया समावृता, मैं अपने आप को योग माया से ढक के रखा हूं, मैं सबको दर्शन नहीं देता हूं। जैसे मेरा हाथ योग माया है, मैं किसी को अभी दर्शन नहीं दे रहा हूं, करेक्ट। अभी नाउ दर्शन हो गया, समझ में आ रहा है, अभी दर्शन बंद हो गया। यू आर एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड? सो मूढ़ो याम ना भी जानती, जो मूर्ख है वो क्या सोचते हैं, श्री निताय नहीं है, उसका सर नहीं है। अभी देखो श्री निताय का सर नहीं दिख रहा है ना, करेक्ट। तो जो मूढ़ होते हैं, मूर्ख होते हैं, क्या बोलेगा, श्री निताय का कोई सर नहीं है प्रभु जी, प्रभु जी का सर चला गया है, करेक्ट है। व्हाई? बिकॉज सर के सामने श्री निताय ने ढक के रख दिया। तो जो मूर्ख होते हैं, दोज हु आर फुलिश, because Krishna has put the covering, they say that God is not visible only, there is no God only. Moodho yam na vijananti loko mam ajam abhyam, that I have a abhyaya sarir, I have a imperishable body, which is a very special form, Sachidananda body. They don't know it, and that's how I cover that body also, and then they say there is God doesn't have a form. And the next question is, which is better then? Can we do impersonal meditation? Because impersonal form or Brahma Jyoti is there. It's not that it's not there. It's there, correct? It's a truth. It's a reality. And personal worship is also a reality. भगवान भी है, परमात्मा भी है, और ब्रह्म भी है। तो हमको ब्रह्म की पूजा करना चाहिए या भगवान की पूजा करना चाहिए? कौन बता पाएगा इसका उत्तर, कि हमको ब्रह्म की पूजा की है? शुभायान। ओके, वन बाय वन, शुभायान एंड देन निराकार एंड देन श्याम नारायण, सबको मिलेगा मौका बोलने का।
भगवान का पूजा करना चाहिए।
क्यों? ब्रह्म के भी, ब्रह्म भी तो भगवान ही है। ब्रह्म भी तो हमने पढ़ा अभी, तो ब्रह्म क्या है, देखो ब्रह्म हमने पढ़ा अभी, ब्रह्म भी तो भगवान का ही एस्पेक्ट है। इधर ब्रह्म भी तो भगवान का ही एस्पेक्ट है। ब्रह्म क्या समस्या है? क्यों भगवान की क्यों पूजा करना चाहिए?
प्रभु जी, जो ब्रह्म है वो तो मतलब जस्ट लाइक सनराइज, मतलब उसका रे है, तो जिनसे वो चीज आ रहा है, जो कि सोर्स है, उनको पूजा करना ही बुद्धिमानी का काम है।
सो इज अ टेलिंग नाइस थिंग कि जो जिनसे सनलाइट आ रहा है उनको पूजा करना ही बुद्धिमान का बात है। ओके, वेरी नाइस। यस, सो नाउ शांति has raised hands. He wants to speak something. Yes.
या वो पूर्ण नहीं है, ये पूर्ण है।
हाँ, so this is a very nice thing, you know. One is called impersonal. Impersonal is incomplete aspect. Incomplete. And Bhagavan is complete. Yeah, complete. Okay. And another Subhayan said is that Bhagavan का सेवा करना, it is intelligent. Okay, अरविंद जी कुछ बोल रहे हैं। Yes.
मुझे लगता है कि हमें वापस क्यों आना है, जब वापस तो अगर हम उनकी पूजा करते हैं तो आई फील कि हमें वापस आना पड़ेगा। सो इट्स बेटर टू गो फॉर भगवान, क्योंकि उन्हीं में लीन हो जाना है वापस जाके।
सो ब्रह्म ज्योति, सो यू हैव टू कम बैक। Okay. So and then Bhagavan, we don't have to come back. Yes, anyone else?
Probably the same thing, but in the other words, that Brahma is missing the Chit and Ananda aspect of Bhagavan.
Yeah.
So it's not complete.
It's not complete. Yeah, the same thing. Yes, anyone else?
one is you are getting the maximum benefit by going to Vaikuntha and have a relationship. The process will make us faster than any other process.
So if you want, if you worship Bhagavan, it is faster. Okay, very nice point. Yeah. Anyone else? Anything else?
Anand Mutta.
Correct. So the Ananda is available only when we worship Bhagavan. Okay. Yeah. So we will see what Krishna is telling, what is better, right? So Arjuna is also actually asking the same question. When Arjuna heard that God is both personal and impersonal, right? And impersonal is incomplete, personal is complete, right? When Arjuna heard all these things, then Arjuna is asking this question in 12th chapter. Arjuna uvacha. Anyone? Please recite.
Arjuna uvacha.
Evam satata yuktaye.
Evam satata yuktaye.
Bhaktas tvam pariupasate. ये चाप्यक्षरम अव्यक्तम तेसाम के योग वित्तमा. तो अर्जुना इज आस्किंग, तो दोनों में भक्ता और आपके अक्षर अव्यक्त को जो उपासना कर रहा है, ये दोनों में, ये नंबर 1, ये दोनों में तेषाम, इन दोनों में के कौन योग वित्तमा. वित्तमा मतलब सुपरलेटिव, कौन अच्छा है. डायरेक्टली अर्जुना इज आस्किंग टू कृष्णा, जो आपका भक्त होके पूजा करता है या फिर जो आपकी अक्षर अव्यक्त रूप को, स्वरूप को पूजा करता है, ब्रह्म में लीन होने का बोलता है, ब्रह्म में लीन हो जाऊंगा, ब्रह्म में जुड़ जाऊंगा, ये हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा, कौन अच्छा है, राइट? जो ब्रह्म में लीन होना चाहता है या आपकी भक्ति करना चाहता है, आपका सेवा करना चाहता है, राइट? ऐसा पूछ रहे हैं. तो भगवान बोले, श्री भगवान वाच.
श्री भगवान वाच.
मयि आवेश्य मनो येया.
अव्यवेश्य मनो येमा.
नित्ययुक्ता उपासते.
नित्ययुक्ता उपासते.
श्रद्धाया परयुपेता.
श्रद्धाया पराउपायता.
ते मे युक्ता तमामता.
ते मे युक्ता तमामता.
तो देखिए, मयि आवेश्य मनो येयाम नित्य युक्त उपासते श्रद्धाया परयुपेता ते मे युक्ता तमोमता. सो कृष्णा इज सो क्लियर, जो मैं उसका मन को मेरे में आवेश कर लेता है, उसके मन में मेरे बारे में हर समय सोचता है, मेरा हर समय उपासना करता है, नित्य युक्त उपासते, श्रद्धा के साथ उपासते, मेरे को सेवा करता है, परयोपेता मतलब परयोपेता मतलब मेरा परिचर्या करता है, सेवा करता है, मेरे से भक्ति करता है, रिश्ता स्थापित करता है, ते में युक्ता तमामता, वो इन दोनों में से अच्छा है. तो वन साइड इज सर्विस to Bhagavan, and the other side is merging in Bhagavan. As for example, a boy is going to meet a girl and the girl's family and everything for a marriage. So boy and girl, they are wanting to talk, right? And so the girl asks the boy कि तुम मेरे से शादी क्यों करना चाहता है? And then the boy says, मैं तुम में लीन होना चाहता हूँ, लीन, बस लीन. How many of you think that the girl will be impressed? मैं बस लीन, तुम्हें लीन. And then the girl says, ठीक है लीन हो जाएगा तुम, but तुम करेगा क्या? बस लीन हो जाऊंगा, तुम और मैं और तुम बस एक ही हो, तुम में मैं लीन हो जाऊंगा, मैं तुम में लीन हो जाऊंगा. फिर लड़की पूछती है, तुम मेरे को खाना देगा, तुम कुछ करेगा, कुछ काम करेगा, मेरा भी एक नौकरी है. लड़की बोलती है, तुम भी नौकरी कर रहा है, हम दोनों अगर नौकरी करेंगे, हम दोनों घर में रहेंगे या तुम जैसे रह रहा है ना. बस ये सब प्रिय मत पूछो, बस लीन होने का बोलिए. प्रेम तो लीन ही है. So you tell me, all of you are, some are married, some are going to get married. How many of you think that this is a nice proposal? This existence is only not there now. So that's how these foolish fellows, these people, they say, लीन हो जाना है, ब्रह्म में लीन होना है, भगवान में लीन होना है, बस लीन होना है. अरे लीन होके थीन हो जाएगा, तुम पागल है क्या? सो एक्चुअली प्रेम अगर है, प्रेम कैसे होता है? प्रेम जागृत होता है सेवा से. और कोई क्यों बोलेगा लीन हो जाना है, लीन होना है? वो कुछ सेवा नहीं करना चाहता है, खाली सोना चाहता है. तो लीन होने से कुछ भी सेवा नहीं होता है, जीवन में कुछ आनंद नहीं होता है. और जो लीन होने का आशा रखते हैं वो फिर से थीन होके वापस आते हैं. दे कम बैक अगेन टू द मटेरियल वर्ल्ड. सो द गोल ऑफ लाइफ इज टू रेंडर सर्विस, एंड ऑल्सो नॉट जस्ट रेंडर सर्विस, टू एक्सेप्ट ऑल्सो सर्विस. इन स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड, इन गॉड्स अबोर्ड, भगवान के धाम में ऐसे नहीं कि आत्मा पूरा लीन हो गया. देयर इज नो एग्जिस्टेंस. द आत्मा हैज इटर्नल एग्जिस्टेंस, इंडिविजुअल एग्जिस्टेंस, एंड गॉड हैज इटर्नल इंडिविजुअल एग्जिस्टेंस. कभी दोनों लीन नहीं होते हैं. There is a verse in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna clearly says to Arjuna, Natve baham jatu nasam, natve neme janadhipa, na chaivana bhavishyami, sarve bhayam atah param. I don't know whether this verse I have put in this PowerPoint. Natve baham jatu nasam. ऐसे कभी भी नहीं था कि मैं, आप और ये सब जो खड़े हुए हैं ना, सेना, all these soldiers, they were not existing. All the time they were existing. And ऐसे कभी नहीं आएगा. There will be nothing in the future that they will cease to exist. I exist eternally, and you as Arjuna, as soul, you exist eternally and individually. So, the soul never loses identity and individuality. So the merging is a false, imaginary concept which is not accepted in Bhagavad Gita. Because the soul is eternally individual and the Paramatma, God, is eternally individual. And the soul never loses his identity and individuality. So the soul and the super soul, they are eternally distinct individuals. And Krishna is telling that when the soul wants to serve the super soul, when the soul wants to serve the super soul, that is higher than when the soul wants to merge with the super soul artificially. That's what Krishna is telling. And then Krishna was saying, and not just it is higher, not just this is higher, A is higher than B. It's not that A is higher than B. Krishna is telling B is troublesome, very, very difficult and troublesome. So we will read this verse. Klesho adhikatarastesham. Anyone?
क्लेशो अधिकतरस्तेषाम्
अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम्
अव्यक्तासक्ताचेतसाम्
अव्यक्ता ही गतिर्दुःखम्
अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम्
देहबद्भिर् अवाप्यते
देहवद्भिरवाप्यते।
क्लेशो, क्लेश मतलब क्लेश क्या होता है? क्लेश क्या होता है? लड़ाई झगड़ा, कलेश, कलेश बोलते हैं ना, कलेश, दुख। अधिक मतलब बहुत ज्यादा, तरस तेषाम, अधिक तर, तमा तर, समझ में आ रहा है ना? सुपरलेटिव, अधिक तर, क्लेश केवल बढ़ेगा, किसका बढ़ेगा? अव्यक्त आसक्त चेतसाम, जब आपकी चेतना मेरे अव्यक्त में केवल आप आसक्त करेंगे, आपका केवल दुख बढ़ेगा जीवन में, और कुछ नहीं बढ़ने वाला। अव्यक्त ही गतिर दुखम, और करते हुए दुख मिलेगा, गति भी दुख मिलेगा। आप अगर मेरे ब्रह्म ज्योति का उपासना करेंगे, उपासना करते हुए तुमको दुख मिलेगा, कष्ट मिलेगा। गतिर दुखम मतलब फाइनली उपासना करके जो फल मिलेगा वो भी दुख मिलेगा। देह अवतिर अवाप्यते, इसीलिए जो देह मिला है उसको ब्रह्म की उपासना करना, व्यक्त की उपासना करना नहीं करके मेरी जो साकार स्वरूप है उसकी ही भक्तिमय सेवा करना चाहिए। And so that we go back to Godhead, and there we can continue our service to God. So Krishna is telling in this verse that not that A is higher than B, that is the one thing Krishna is telling here in second, and Krishna is also telling B is fully troublesome. That's what also Krishna is telling. So impersonal meditation is troublesome. Like some people put candle and they keep on meditating, and you ask them what is the goal, like ब्रह्म में लीन होना है, भगवान में लीन होना है, आत्मा परमात्मा लीन हो जाएगा. So this lean business, we should quote Bhagavad Gita 12.5 with them. Immediately we should tell Bhagavad Gita 12.5. Open Bhagavad Gita 12.5. You see what Krishna is telling. And then we should tell, you open Bhagavad Gita 12.2 and see what Krishna is telling. Clearly Krishna is telling that yes, I have my energy aspect also. Krishna is not denying his energy aspect. Krishna is not denying Brahma Jyoti in Bhagavad Gita. But Krishna is clearly telling this Brahma meditation is inferior, and his worship as his Bhagavan feature, as God in which we serve him, is superior. And he also clearly speaks that this Brahma feature is not just inferior, it is troublesome for the living entity. And that's why the living entity should not unnecessarily get into Brahma worship or Brahma abhyakta asakta chetasa. So in this way, we must understand that the goal of life is not to meditate on some energy. Like nowadays, meditation has become very, very, what you say, the right word is very trendy, fashionable, right? It's very fashionable. I'm also doing meditation. And what you are doing meditation? Your mind is so much fully absorbed in quarreling. Mind is so much absorbed in shouting at others, shouting your husband, wife, children. Mind is so much absorbed in corruption, doing all nonsense. What meditation you will do? You close your mind, all nonsense are coming in your mind. No, I'm doing meditation. I'm doing meditation. I'm absorbing the energy of God, the divinity. People will say nowadays like this. And Krishna is telling here in Bhagavad Gita, all this meditation is inferior, it is very difficult, it is the destination is also difficult, the process is also difficult, and the goal of life is actually to serve. So how to serve is how Krishna speaks about Bhakti Yoga. So Bhakti Yoga, which we will discuss in next classes, will discuss one thing about what is spiritual world and how in spiritual world things are, and then we will discuss about how to go to spiritual world. These are the two sections which are remaining in our Bhagavad Gita advanced classes. So what is spiritual world? Now we realized that yes, God is in three aspects. There is the energy aspect of the Lord. The energy aspect of the Lord is pervading everywhere. And the goal of life actually is to surrender to the personal form of the Lord, to serve the Lord, and to go back to spiritual world. And the next class we will see what is spiritual world, and in the next to next class we will see how to attain the spiritual world by serving God. Okay, is there any question? So all of you can ask any question.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, आपने कहा कि जो ब्रह्म ज्योति में लीन हो जाते हैं, they will have to come back.
Yeah.
But I have heard somewhere or read somewhere that ब्रह्म ज्योति में लीन होना is spiritual suicide.
Yeah. So this is. Can you open? This is the verse. You see, this verse is there in the Bhagavatam. So the soul returned back in search of activity. So troublesome impersonal worship. This verse says that you have to come back. Yene aravindaksha bimuktamaninaha त्वयि अस्तभावाद अविशुद्ध बुद्धया आरुह्य कृच्छेन परम पदम तथा patanti adho nadrita yushmadangraha. You see what this verse is spoken by the demigods. देवता लोग जब भगवान देवकी के गर्भ में आते हैं, तो देवता लोग भगवान से मिलने आते हैं जो भगवान देवकी के गर्भ में हैं, और भगवान को स्तुति करते हैं. इसको बोलते हैं गर्भ स्तुति. दिस कम्स इन श्रीमद् भागवतम 10th कैंटो. इसको बोलते हैं गर्भ स्तुति. भगवान गर्भ में हैं और भगवान की स्तुति कर रहे हैं, और भगवान उनकी प्रार्थनाओं को एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हैं. भगवान हमारी तरह गर्भ में नहीं रहते हैं, फंसा हुआ है, कुछ सुन नहीं रहा है, तो भगवान ही रहते हैं जब गर्भ में रहते हैं. ये अन्य अरविंदाक्ष विमुक्त मानिनः. तो those who do not worship the Aravindaksha, aksha matlab eyes, Aravindaksha matlab one who has beautiful eyes, Krishna, they vimukta manina, they consider themselves, manina matlab they consider themselves only, अपने आप वो माला पहन लेते हैं, हम विमुक्त हो गए, हम लिबरेटेड हो गए, हम लिबरेटेड हो गए, हम लिबरेटेड हो गए, विमुक्त मानिना. त्वयि अस्तभावाद अभिशुद्ध बुद्धया. Their buddhi, their intelligence is abhi tak abhishuddha. Matlab vishuddha is pure, abhishuddha means still impure. आरुह्य कृच्छ्रेना, वो आरुह्य मतलब ऊपर उठते हैं, कहां तक? परम पदम तथा, ब्रह्म तक जाते हैं, जो आध्यात्मिक जगत का चौकाट की तरह है. ब्रह्म ज्योति इज व्हाट? ब्रह्म ज्योति इज द डोर ऑफ द स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड. वो डोर तक जाते हैं. देन यू सी व्हाट इज रिटन, पतंति अधो, अगेन दे कम बैक, नान अनादृता युष्मदंग्रह, because they don't catch the lotus feet of the Lord. Like for example, I will tell you, if I go to any home in universe, right, and then I go to their door and I tuck, I knock the door and I said, and then immediately the maid will come. The maid will say, yes, what you want? I want to enter. So can I enter? Until unless I have a relationship, I cannot enter, correct? the maid will say, no, 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 I think you have come to the wrong house, you go to the right house, correct? So though I may go to Uniworld, I will not be able to enter any house because I have not strike out any relationship with any person living in Uniworld city, correct? Exactly in the same way, the people who worship God in his Brahma form and the energy form, and they don't strike out a relationship, they don't serve God, they don't relate with God, then again they have to come back, right? They cannot stay in spiritual world. Okay, so this is the quotation. Yes, and
इसका मतलब ये है कि लीन हो जाना कोई concept ही नहीं है.
लीन हो जाना कोई concept नहीं है. This is also mentioned. The soul never, as I said, the soul never loses individuality. You are able to see the green parrot? How many of you are able to see the green parrot?
Yes, in the center.
Yeah. So the green parrot entering a green tree. Is the parrot lost the individuality? No, the parrot is always there. So similarly, the green tree is compared to Brahma Jyoti. And then this green parrot is the soul. So it appears as if the soul has lost the individuality, but the soul never loses individuality. And फिर जब भूख लगेगा पैरट को क्या होगा? भूख लगेगा तो क्या करेगा पैरट? पेड़ छोड़ के निकल जाएगा, करेक्ट? तो उसी तरह जैसे ही द आत्मा परमात्मा से लीन हो जाता है, वो ब्रह्म ज्योति में लीन होता है, जैसे ही he feels that I want to relate with someone, I want to talk, and then again he has to come back only. He has to come back only. So it's a very temporary metastable state. Sometimes it is said, we will discuss in the next class, in Brahma Jyoti, there is Sadasiv Loka. One part of the Brahma Jyoti is Lord Shiva's abode. We hear that Lord Shiva stays in Kailas. Kailas is his abode within the universe. Outside the universe, Lord Shiva has his main office. Kailas is his branch office. Lord Shiva's main office is in Brahma Jyoti. Brahma Jyoti, usko bolte hain Sadasiv Lok. Sometimes Lord Shiva comes with Kirtan party, chanting Hare Krishna, Vishnu Sahasranam, ऐसे कीर्तन करते करते ब्रह्म ज्योति में घूमते हैं. And वो कीर्तन सुन के some people get attracted and from Brahma Jyoti they go to spiritual world. That also some souls they do like that. वो शिव जी की preaching, when जैसे हम preaching में जाते हैं ना, book distribution करते हैं, just like I am also taking classes, Bhagavad Gita classes. So Lord Shiva also does his preaching. वो भी बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में जाते हैं, थोड़ा ब्रह्म ज्योति में घूमते हैं. इस तरह का जो तोते लोग बैठे हुए हैं ब्रह्म ज्योति में, सोच रहे हैं हम लीन हो गए, लीन हो गए, लीन हो गए, लीन हो गए. ब्रह्म शिवा उसको उठाते हैं, तुम लीन नहीं हुआ है, तुम लीन नहीं हुआ है, हरे कृष्ण करो, हरे कृष्ण करो. शिव जी को देख के डर के मारे वो कुछ लोग हरे कृष्ण कर लेते हैं, फिर ऊपर उठ जाते हैं. क्योंकि शिव जी का देखो, शिव जी का प्रचार स्थली बहुत है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, I call people for Bhagavad Gita class. Hardly 10-15 people have come for Bhagavad Gita class. But imagine Shivji, what he does, he kills Bhoot Pisach. And Bhoot Pisach बोलते हैं, आया नहीं भगवद गीता क्लास में तो घर उजाड़ देंगे हम तुम्हारा. ऐसे प्रवेश करेंगे, रात में सो नहीं पाएगा, सुसु नहीं कर पाएगा, कुछ खा नहीं पाएगा. कौन नहीं आएगा शिवजी के भगवद गीता क्लास में? टेल मी. हमारे पास तो उस तरह का शक्ति नहीं है. 5-10 लोग आते हैं, उनको हम पढ़ा के फिर बंद करते हैं क्लास. So Shivji has in Kailas Loka, he has all his bhoot, pisach, everything, and he comes, and sometimes this type of tota type soul, these souls, they are there roaming around in the Brahma Jyoti telling शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति, लीन लीन, ऐसे ऐसे बात करते हैं. और then what else they saying? तत्त्वमसि, अहम ब्रह्मास्मि, तत्त्वमसि, तत्त्वमसि. These are all Brahma Vakyas of the Brahmavadis. They are Mahavakyas, they say. तत्त्वमसि, अहम ब्रह्मास्मि, सोहम, 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 सोहम. So they speak all these things. this soul is speaking all this, and then Lord Shiva keeps on roaming around doing kirtan and seeing Lord Shiva with Bhoot, Pisach. Some people, they get enlightened and then join Lord Shiva, and then they go back to spiritual world. So Lord Shiva is very, very merciful, extremely merciful. Actually, if anyone is there merciful, then Lord Shiva is the most merciful, most compassionate Vaishnava, who simply wants that how the living entity goes back to spiritual one and doesn't stay in this material world. So the soul in this way never loses the individuality. It only thinks what it is written in this verse. What is that? Bimukta manina. Manina matlab thinks. Right? So it is written, you see, they think themselves as liberated. They think, usko video ko udhar likhe. They think themselves as liberated. They are not liberated. They think themselves. अब मैं लीन हो गया, मैं लीन हो गया, मैं लीन हो गया, मैं लीन हो गया, लीन हो गया. अरे तुम बैठा हुआ है क्या? लीन हो गया, लीन हो गया, लीन हो गया. And then फिर so this is how it is. Okay, is this clear? Anyone else? Okay, so next class we will discuss. Next class, what my plan was, I'll give you little bit. I have done a lot of classes now. I would give you little time to now revise, because we have covered a lot of important sections. We have covered material modes. We have covered about spiritual world and the living entity's journey. We covered about the modes, how it affects. We also covered about demigods. We'll covered about impersonal. We'll take a small quiz. Small quiz we'll take. Otherwise, becoming. I would like to see that all of you. So what we will do, either we can give you some break of one class so that you can prepare for the quiz and then come back, or you can take 1 week now, this week, in that you can prepare. So you have either 15 days or 7 days, how much you want time. And I will share all the PPTs in the group. Huh?
Right, Prabhuji. We joined the classes late.
Oh, so you need 15 days. So next week, what I will do, I will ask someone to do revision. Okay. So I will ask someone, maybe Kushal Bihari Prabhu or someone, or Udharan Krishna or some devotee, to do a revision. And also I will share the PPTs. And then next to next class, we'll have a short quiz in the class itself for 15 minutes. Okay. So little test is required, otherwise we will get stuck. Okay. All the best. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Sri Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. Srimati Radharani ki jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.